working on so I could go to law school. Actually, I wanted to be a lawyer. Basically because I had a friend in high school who would always play Magic the Gathering, and I could see him. He would always manipulate the rules to come out ahead and win different arguments in Magic the Gathering. And I was like, I bet lawyers do that in real life. I should do that myself. And so that was always my motivation. And anyway, I did that, and then a number of other things, random things that are not, I would say like YouTube or public safe that I did. And then after that, I started doing YouTube, and then I started doing YouTube, and I focused on that. And I would put videos out of the way that I lived, etc. And people would always find it to be very funny or like weird, and everybody would like really like. There were a lot of people, and this is true even now, people that like hate me for living the way that I do. And I think that really, people look at a person like me, and they see a person who has a number of things in their life that they wish they had, but I've done basically, if you look at it from like, what do they tell you to do when you're growing up? I used every single thing to do as a checklist of what not to do, right? And so, I think that a lot of people could be a little bit, annoyed by that. And so I can see why, etc. And it is disgusting, by the way. And so, missing half your teeth and, living in a dump with a dead rat alarm clock. You don't know if your mom's going to be alive that day. You've got no money. You have to support her. She's never going to be able to support herself. And things are just basically slowly getting worse and worse and worse. And I started doing YouTube, and things started doing a little bit better. I started doing streaming. Things were really better then. I went to get my teeth fixed, because if you look at my old videos, a lot of my old videos, you'd notice that I smile. When I smile, I cover my mouth when I smile. The reason for that is this is Sykkuno, where I don't like my smile. Yeah, I don't like my smile. It's not because I think it's ugly, it's because I didn't have any fucking teeth. I didn't want people to see that. And so that's why I would cover my mouth a lot whenever I first started streaming. And so this happened to me for a long time. I go to the dentist. Like around $50,000 to get all my teeth fixed and everything done and taken care of. Then I thought, maybe because it was the first time at that point where I kind of like, it really hit me that I had like irreversibly and irreparably damaged my life in a way that I couldn't just immediately like undo. Because like as a kid, usually you make a mistake where it's like you scrape your knee, and then, you put a bandage on it and it's better. But with this, it never was going to get better, and it's only going to get worse. And it certainly has, by the way. And so, anyway, I did want to kill myself, but I decided instead of killing myself, I'd do something even worse. I'd start streaming. And I started streaming because I wasn't really making enough money. And everybody says, oh, well, I started streaming because, I like interacting with people. It's because I was lonely. Well, I started streaming for money. I needed some fucking money. And so that's what I did. And I was like, guys, we've got a donation goal of $100, and if we get $100, I'm gonna go to Wendy's tomorrow. And I would always meme it up, $1 equals one donut, and it's like, I would make a bunch of money, and it was great. And things actually did go very well. I streamed every single night. I was very dedicated. I tried to make things as entertaining as possible, and I did what I tried to do best, right? And things kind of got better and improved. This happened just at pretty much the same time. A lot of my friends were kind of evolving and going past, college, like they were getting careers, getting married, having kids. And like now I'm pretty sure, I'm thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure every single friend that I have is either married or has a kid, which is kind of crazy considering that, I'm sitting here doing what I'm doing. But it is kind of weird. I'm 34 now, which is honestly a fucking shock. Like, I can't believe it. I don't feel 34. I feel like I'm still 16. But I look in the mirror, I see my hairline, and I think to myself, oh my god, wait a minute, I think I'm actually 34. And if I'm really not sure, I talk to somebody who's 16, and then I realize, hold up, wait a minute, no, actually I am 34. Because there's no better way to realize that you're actually older until you talk to somebody who's actually younger. At least it is for me. So anyway, my stream was doing very well. My social life really, I pretty much like stopped interacting with a lot of friends of mine because I focused pretty much just on streaming and on making this as much as possible. And also, I'm a very introverted person in a lot of ways. I like being alone. I don't like people talking to me a whole lot. I don't like phone calls. I don't like interacting with people. I don't like going out. You guys might notice this, right? If it's, a mystery or secret. And so, big surprise, that's how it was. And then, I started streaming. My stream started doing better. And there was a degree of like stress that created. But, and in terms of like my lifestyle and everything, living that way, I never really thought about it at that point. I never really worried too much about like kind of how, people would perceive me. I always viewed myself as like, this is just who I am. This is what I am. That's all there is to it. And I never really took, and I still don't really take any criticism or any negativity to heart. I don't take it personally. I don't really care a whole lot. And so at the end of the day, it never really bothered me, and people thought it was funny. And so, I had like this snack box, and there were like maggots in the snack box, and I would eat the food with the maggots inside of the food. It was like honey buns, which were really, really good. And to be honest, I didn't even really taste them. So it was pretty much the same thing. It didn't even bother me. And so, I had like taken at that point, my teeth were like totally rotten out. And so I had taken pliers to like break pieces of my teeth off. Even, like if I wasn't able to speak during the stream, because like a point was like, poking my tongue, or like, playing a game or something, like that, talking to people. And so I still have the pliers actually in my bathroom from all the way back then. And for quite a while. And then I guess you could say I started, like, I guess, like, the second phase of my life of, like, trying to remove myself from, like, caring about, being worried about the outcome of other people. It was always very scary for me to know that, like, you know, my mom would die one day, right? This was extremely scary. This was, like, the one thing that I didn't want to have happen. And in 2021, it did happen. And so leading up to that was incredibly stressful. She pretty much did everything that she possibly could. I love her, but she did every fucking thing that she could to make things as absolutely unpleasant as possible. Oh my God. And so, yes. It was very frustrating to deal with somebody like that. But, you know, she was 70 at the time. And so it really hurt. And it's, you know, like, she was the main person in my life that I was, like, most connected to. And, like, you know, this is the person that I had, like, the deepest emotional connection with. And to just lose them, and it was kind of random, by the way. Like, things got worse over time, but it was nothing like the very end there. It just kind of went off a fucking cliff. And so this happened, and then at about the same time, a little bit after that, I also broke up with a long-term girlfriend at the time. And then at the same time, my dad got so fucking sick that we were, like, talking about writing his will, like, and he's still setting all that up because he doesn't know if this shit's gonna happen again, right? What's gonna be? And he's 77 too, so it's rough, right? It's bad. And he went through pneumonia 4 fucking times in a year. And so, and he's still getting around, you know, going to the store, etc. But I gotta help him every once in a while too, right? And it is what it is. And so again, and you know, we don't have any family around here, and so, you know, if something goes wrong, if something's bad, there's one person who's responsible for that, and that's me. And so that's a lot of stress. It's a lot of pressure, right? And you know, I had all 3 of these things happen to me within pretty much 1 year of each other, maybe 2 years with the thing with my dad. And so at that point, I began the second part of, I think that, like, you know, my you know, abstraction of reality is that I've tried my best to remove myself from caring about other people as much as I can, and not caring about them in terms of, like, you know, being friendly. Of course, I'm friendly with people, but being emotionally attached to having them in my life, being emotionally attached to the way that they feel about me and how they're doing. It's been very hard for me to actually have any sort of feelings towards people when it seems like everybody that was important to me is fucking dying. And so or leaving me, right? Or breaking up with me. So at a certain point, you just kind of get away from that. And then after that, you know, we entered into, I would say, the third phase, which is the point where I you know, lose the connection with myself. And I think that whenever I finally do that, I think that maybe one day I might be happy again. And what I mean by that is that I always worry about, like, dying and, you know, all this stuff, and, like, how I'm, you know, like, where do you go, what happens, right? And it would be very, very stressful for me. And I usually reassure myself by reminding myself that I'm just a hyper-intelligent monkey that probably evolved too fast. And I think that we all are, by the way. It's not like I'm special. And that usually is oddly reassuring. But otherwise, it was very stressful for me. And I did think that I was farther along. I thought I would be okay with dying until I thought that I was dying, and then I realized that I wasn't as far along as I thought I was. Recently, whenever I had a blood pressure reading of 194, which is a high score so far, you know, at least so far. And so things have been improving since then, by the way. But anyway, this has been, you know, my life, and I stopped really caring about anything. I stopped caring about what happens to me. I stopped caring about what happens to other people. I stopped caring about what people think about me. And I felt that the more that I have, the more that I've cared about things, the more unhappy I've been as a person. And I think that this is true on, like, a base level. Is this some sort of pathological problem for me? I think it probably is. But at the end of the day, this is the best way that I know to cope with it, right? And so, for me, the way that I live and everything is a manifestation of that. It's always been this way for me. My mom, like, growing up, things were pretty messy, etc. But then, even now, things are worse than they ever have been in terms of, like, being messy. But, you know, I never really think about it or worry about it because I'm just never really it doesn't even cross my mind. I'm thinking about things that I want to think about. I'm doing things that I want to do. And I never think about what other people think about me. I don't think about how it affects other people. I don't think about how they feel or anything like that. And it might sound like a bad thing, but it's made me a happier and more fulfilled person. Not worrying about anybody else, really, other than myself, unless I have to. And it's been very weird for me, especially. And like having like priorities change in your life, and having different things happen to you. And so I wanted to make this video and kind of like explain kind of how I got to be this way, and hopefully a little bit of this can like explain why do I behave this way, why am I like this, why do I have no shame with things, right? It lived a life where I've tried desperately to hold on to any degree of dignity that I've had and anything that I've had, and it's just slowly been taken away from me. Whether it's myself, pieces of myself. That's why a lot of criticism and things like this, of course I don't like it. Of course I don't like it. But it doesn't really emotionally affect me in the same way that I think it does for other people. And it used to affect me a lot more, but I've, gotten a little bit better at least at dealing with it. And so hopefully this can answer some questions and kind of give people a little bit more insight into my life and the kind of person I am. And that's pretty much about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I have to cover. 30-minute video. Actually, I was expecting it to be longer. So, that's my life story. That's what's happened to me in general. And that's why I am the way I am. And will I ever change? Maybe, maybe not, right? I mean, I honestly, making a lot of money on Twitch, the notoriety and everything, people recognize you. I guess it's nice, right? And I mean, sometimes having money is way better than not having money. But in terms of having a lot of wealth, I live in my same house. I use my same desk. I, for a very long time drove my same car. I eat in the same places. I do the same things. I really haven't changed at all, honestly, ever since I was younger. Ever since my stream got popular. And maybe one day I will, maybe one day I won't. At the end of the day, I think that one thing that I've always really kind of focused on and thought about a lot is that I have complete and absolute agency over my own life. I can do anything that I want to do, and I cannot do anything that I don't want to do. And I think that's been a very comforting fact. And so people ask me, are you ever going to do this? It's not something I'm really thinking about changing right now. But in the future, I might change my mind. I just don't know yet. And so I just try to live life and enjoy it and, be able to experience things for the way that they're meant to be experienced. And really, I don't care a whole lot about that even either. I don't care about, going out or having certain life experiences or, oh, you'll regret this. Well, who cares if you regret this when you're old? You're about to die anyway. It doesn't even matter. And so I've never really felt that way. It's not in me. And so that's really my whole life. And that's why I live the way that I live. That's why I do things the way that I do things. And, maybe one day it'll change. Maybe one day it won't. Who the fuck knows? Tune in next time to find out. So anyway, guys, hopefully this is a little bit more informative, etc. And shit. I got an early in for the day. We had to record something early, so I came home. I figured I'd record this, and it's only 6 p.m., and so I don't know what the hell to do with myself now. I'm not streaming. I'm going to go walk around my house like an NPC. And so, I don't know what to do. I'm probably going to go play video games. So anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching. Thanks for listening if you've gotten this far. And, things have been going great for me recently. And I want to say thank you to everybody who's been so supportive. I just don't know. Be able to end, but in the future I might change my mind. I just don't know yet. And so I just try to live life and enjoy it and be able to experience things for the way that they're meant to be experienced. And really, I don't care a whole lot about that even either. I don't care about going out or having certain life experiences or, oh, you'll regret this. Well, who cares if you regret this when you're old? You're about to die anyway. It doesn't even matter. And so I've never really felt that way. It's just not, it's not in me. And so that's really my whole life. And that's why I live the way that I live. It's why I do things the way that I do things. And, you know, maybe one day it'll change. Maybe one day it won't. Who the fuck knows? Tune in next time to find out. So anyway, guys, hopefully this is a little bit more informative, etc. And shit, I got an early end for the day. We had to record something early, so I came home. I figured I'd record this, and it's only 6 p.m., and so I don't know what the hell to do with myself now. I'm not streaming. I'm going to go walk around my house like an NPC. And so, like, I don't know what to do. I figured I'd record this, and it's only 6 p.m., and so I don't know what the hell to do with myself now. I'm not streaming. I'm going to go walk around my house like an NPC. And so, like, I don't know what to do. I'm probably going to go play video games. So anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching. Thanks for listening if you've gotten this far. And yeah, things have been going great for me recently. And I want to say thank you to everybody who's been so supportive and everything. And